It's so difficult to avoid crying when you get to know how owners treated their dying dog. This heartbreaking story happened in India. When the owners realized that their young dog was seriously ill, they left the poor thing to die in the street instead of going to the vet. Luckily, the volunteers from Animal Aid found the dying dog. At first, young people thought that the dog was dead, and they wanted to bury the animal. Having been close to the dog, the man saw that the dog had wagged his tail. The young dog was then taken to the hospital where it had received medical treatment. After a 2-week intensive healing course, the long-suffering dog is doing a lot better. Just compare her state now and before. When Stephen came back home from his trip, he saw something terrifying. His favorite dog was stuck between 2 walls in the far corner of his garden. The man was in complete shock and couldn't believe his eyes. Those walls divide the shopping mall and Stephen's area. The situation was tough because the dog was completely immobilized. Steve called a special rescue team. With the help of Perforator, they made a small hall that gave Steve the possibility to calm and encourage his pet. Then the rescuers started to saw through the wall with the help of a powerful instrument. What the rescue team worried about the most was making sure they didn't hurt the dog. The poor pooch was scared with all the noise. It took several hours to make a spacious hole in the wall. The dog was carried up with the help of ropes, and everyone was enormously happy because they saved its life. In Ulanud, Russia, a small puppy got into a narrow crack and couldn't get itself out. Luckily, he was noticed by people. They called the rescuers and asked for help. The poor puppy was whining in despair. The rescuers had to climb the roof and use some pipes and rope to take the puppy out. By the way, after its happy saving, the young puppy found its new owner. One of the men who discovered the poor thing took him home as a new pet. Zeke, Sarah's favorite dog, disappeared near her parents' house. Sarah and her parents had been searching for the dog for 4 days, but they couldn't find it anywhere. Finally, the next day, they heard a pitiful whining from the bottom of the draining pipe. They couldn't understand where exactly the dog was in this long draining pipe. It was difficult to imagine how the dog could climb into it. They couldn't think how to help the dog and were in complete panic. In some time, the dog stopped whining. In the hope of saving the dog, the owners called in different services. When the rescuers finally came to the place, they put a special video camera in the draining pipe. It was already dark outside when all of them nearly lost their faith, but suddenly they heard a dog barking. First, they thought the dog would follow the video camera, but it was too weak, hungry, and afraid to do that. The rescuers identified the right place to cut the pipe. With the help of a camera, they made the dog move in the right direction. At last, the happy moment had come. Zeke climbed out of its captivity. The pooch was just as glad as the owners and the rescuers. A puppy fell into the sinkhole in the Russian city of Ulanud. Luckily, the rescuers were called immediately, and the sinkhole was not too deep, so the poor pup was soon all right. The rescuers used a pole with a hook and carried it out. The dog was very frightened, but its mother calmed him down and took him to a safe place. The dogs were very happy. People should be more attentive and careful to prevent such accidents. 9 puppies were found in a small cave. Their mother was nowhere to be seen. It was clear that the puppies were doomed. They should be saved and taken to the shelter. First, the rescuers tried to tempt the animals with hamburger. Though the dogs were very hungry, they were too afraid to come out. The puppies were taken one by one, but the cave was too narrow and deep, so the rescuers had to dig it out to get closer. They had to use a special hook to fish the puppies up, but unfortunately only 4 puppies were saved this way. The rest went further deep into the cave. The rescue team decided to make another tunnel, and that plan worked perfectly. All the puppies were taken to the shelter, and even a new mother dog adopted them. One day, a woman called to the Animal Aid organization and informed them about a pit bull hiding under her car. The woman figured the dog was lost. The pit bull was very afraid. The rescue team tried to free him and managed to pull it out. When the dog was scanned, they found a special chip with all its necessary information about its owner. The owners said that the dog was scared of fireworks so much that it ran away and probably couldn't find its way back home. After coming back home, the dog was so happy to see all of his family again. It's amazing. There are concerned people out there which care so much about animals. As long as we have such people, all is not lost. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, let us know in the comments. Subscribe to our channel. We're called Awesome Animals now. See you